everybody, it's Miranda and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be reviewing the book Morning Girl by Michael Dorris. So this is another book where it really wasn't all that memorable. It was one of those where you pick it up, it was really short, and you read it and you're like, that's nice, and you put it away and you never touch it again. So let me get into some things that I actually liked about the story. One of those things that I enjoyed is the homey atmosphere that was just throughout the story. Just the whole way that the story is done is kind of, it's very, very heartfelt, very warm, very, I don't want to say Little House on the Prairie-esque because I've never read the books or seen the shows or anything, but it was very much, you know, you're in the center of this family dynamic and it's just a family being a family. And it felt very warm, very passionate, and I just loved it. It was very sweet with the child protagonists and their innocent views of life. It was just, that was something that I really enjoyed about the movie, or about the book. And speaking of the childhood protagonists, we've got one sister, which is Morning Girl, and the brother, who is Starboy, and I really enjoyed their little skirmishes that they got in because they were brother and sister, and you can tell their age because of just how much they just kept fighting with each other and nitpicking at each other. If anybody has siblings, I have siblings, and if anybody out there has siblings, then you know. they know how to get under your skin, and I just found that really touching to the story. I just found it another way that I just really enjoyed it. There was another thing that I enjoyed about the ending of the story, but I don't want to go into too many details because I don't want to spoil it for you. But let me just say that I also enjoyed the ending of... Let me just say that I just enjoyed the ending of the story. And that was the final thing that I really liked about the book. Okay, so some things that I didn't like about the story. So while I enjoyed how comforting the story was, it felt like wrapping yourself up in a warm blanket at Grandma's house kind of like level of comfort. I didn't enjoy how slow-paced the story was. It was very slow moving, very much, you know, slow passages of time, and it dragged on. It was like, oh, it's so cute, but you're so slow. So that was something I didn't like about the story, especially for how short it was. I don't know how you can pack something so slow-paced in such a short novel, but yes, that was something that I didn't like. Speaking of the time lapses in the story were also a little bit wonky. So the story takes place really early on in Morning Girl and Starboy's life, and then it kind of alternates between their perspectives, but it also seems to alternate between the years of life as well. So it kind of shows they're not fully grown by the end of the story, but they're definitely older, but it doesn't tell you, like, how much older. You kind of see that they're really young acting like this 1 second, and then next thing you know they're at this festival and it's like, oh, is it the next day? Oh no, it was a few months later, and then these conflicts happen and you never really know like when it happens because the story is very the story, going into my third point, is very dreamlike. It's very abstract. You're kind of like, it's like you're looking at everything through a mask. You can kind of see, you can kind of process, but like for me, the time lapses in the stories were lost. The transitioning between scenes was a little bit lost on me, and it just made the story appear to be dreamlike. And it also, because of the time lapses, the slow-paced, and the dreamlike quality that the book had, it also made me feel, as a reader, it made me feel really disconnected from the book. So it was like, whoa, where are we at? What are we doing right now? And that was kind of how that was just throughout the whole text right up until the end. I didn't even know like what time period this book was in until the very end of the story. So that's kind of a clue to the ending, but otherwise I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know, like, I kind of knew where they were, and I kind of understood that, I knew that they were, you could tell that they were children, but yeah, it was very, where am I at? So that really turned me off to the story because I couldn't really place it. So while I felt really warm and sweet from what I could understand of it, it was also a lot of, I'm sorry, when did this happen? kind of a thing going on. So all in all, it was a very good read. I gave it a grand total of 3 stars. So it was something that I didn't hate. It was something that sounded pretty interesting, and I ended up liking the book, but it wasn't likable enough for me. This is another one that I don't have. You'll start to see as we progress through more book reviews that there are ones that I have, and those ones tend to have the higher reviews versus ones like this that get a lower review. So, yep, all in all, 3 stars. It was still a really good story, really cute, very, very sweet, but it was so wonky with the transitions and the time and the dreamlike. It just, I don't think I'll ever read it again. So, yeah, that is my review of Morning Girl. So, real quickly, before we kind of sign off here, I just want to let you guys know that if you're ever curious to know like what book reviews I'm going to be doing next, you can just take a peek over on my Goodreads profile. I have a reading goal for this year of 35 books, and I've slowly been filling in the book reviews of those books as I've been reading them. So if you want to know where I'm at on my reviews for YouTube that I'm going to be posting to YouTube, then just go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom of the list. I'm starting with the books that I did earlier this year, and I'm going to work my way through all of them until I finally have caught up with them all. So if you're ever curious, then go ahead and take a peek on my Goodreads profile. But if you guys liked this particular video, then go ahead and click the thumbs up icon and let me know in the comments what you thought of the review or what you thought of the book. If you've read it before, this is kind of an obscure read, like out of the way, and it was very interesting. It was a very interesting book, but just not really something I would want to read again. And if you guys like content like this, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. I try to post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, so go ahead and do that. And if you're looking for something new to read, then feel free to check out my book, The Curse of Sokotoa, which I will leave linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!